Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Novak. Happy birthday to you.
The birthday edition.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Well, who is having a birthday? Who's having a birthday? So, guys, it's Mark's birthday. Not today, not tomorrow, but it's on Sunday. Mark likes to have a bit of a festival for his birthday, and why not celebrate life? Why not celebrate life? But Mark's one of those people that will tell anyone that will listen that it's his birthday. So he'll literally tell, the waiter in the restaurant, it's my birthday. He'll tell everybody that it's his birthday, but it actually is on Sunday. Happy birthday, Mr. Novak.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. So how are we allowed to talk about how old?
Yeah.
How old?
47.
47 years old.
Check it.
So what do you know, Mark? What do you know? Tell us what you've learnt in your 47 years of life. What do you know in your, for much of that you've been in real estate?
Yeah, 31 years.
31 of your 47 years in real estate.
Yeah.
So what do you know, Mark? What can you teach the world about, let's talk first of all about being 47. What's the go?
What's the question?
What do you know? Teach us what you know.
Your highs get higher and your lows get lower.
Your highs get higher and your lows get lower. Okay. Best piece of advice that you've been given by anybody in your 47 years of life?
It's better to be worth $1 than to have $1.
Okay. Good. And what can you teach us about your extensive time in real estate over your 47 years, of which you've been in real estate for 80% of that?
Yeah, pretty much my adult life.
Yeah. What can you teach us?
It's doubled every 10 years, and what you've got to understand is the law of compounding. So basically, what I feel passionate about is if you buy a stock, like my mother-in-law the other day, she said, I can get like a 14% return on my money. And I was like, yeah, that's shit. And she goes, well, what do you mean? And she goes, well, I said, well, if you've got $100,000 and you get a 14% return on your money, sounds good. But what that people miss with property is $100,000 can get you $500,000 worth of property.
Yeah.
And $500,000 worth of property goes up by 10%. $500,000 property gets a 5% return, not your $100,000. So you're really accelerating your income. It's compounding, and it compounds more and more and more. So the biggest lesson in real estate, whether it's an investment or whether it's your home, as in you rent it out or you enjoy it, it compounds. The law of compounding.
Regrets about your career choice ever?
Yeah. I wanted to be a Colombian drug lord. What?
Oh dear, Mark. He's been watching too much Narcos, I think.
No, serious.
Did you? How was that? How was that going to work for you?
I was going to go work on a yacht when I was young,
Yeah.
and then I was going to become connected with all these people, and then end up, just.
Were they your ponytail days?
Yep.
We should put up some old photos of you, Mark. Mark, back in the day, had a nice big, thick ponytail.
Very straight hair.
You would have been, what, 20 years old?
It was a bit Steven Seagal.
18 or 19 18 or 19, I think you were.
Yeah, 17, yeah-ish. Yep.
What else can you teach us, Mark, about being 47?
I was lucky to meet an amazing life partner.
Aw, did you mean me?
No, my mate from school. Pete from school. He's a good bloke.
I knew you were going to say that.
No, I was. You know,
Such a
I think
rapper.
sometimes
He still makes me laugh, guys.
there's a
Yes, he
little
does.
bit of luck there.
Yeah.
Hard work and luck, but yeah.
Well, I often say the harder you work, the luckier you get. And that's the truth. There is a lot of hard work that goes in behind the scenes. But I tell you, particularly you, Mark, like I always wonder if Mark gets more than 24 hours in his day. I always think to myself, how does he have time to work all those hours? And there's an enormous amount of hours that we work, and then still have time to go and catch up with people. So you really do have a talent and an art for making people feel like you have all the time in the world for them. You certainly do. A lot of people don't realise, but Mark has a massive, massive heart. Mark wants to just he wants to save the world. He does. Mark will help anyone and everyone, but honestly will make you feel as though he's got more than 24 hours in his day. So 47, Mark. It's incredible.
It's my birthday.
And we've been together for more than 20 of those years. So Mark and I have been together for a really, really long time, haven't we?
Yes, I met Liz
Long
when I was
time.
like 22.
23.
When I met you.
Yeah.
uh,
Must be memorable. must be really memorable,
At
Mark.
the Slip in Sydney CBD.
Yes.
Just in case you're wondering.
Where the Prince Frederick met his bride. That's where we met. Actually, the week after us.
Lisa
The week
picked
after
me up
us.
at the bar. Yeah.
True story. What else can you share, Mark? Tell us. It's very quiet today.
I like the
No, he
interview
doesn't want to
technique. I like the interview.
Oh, you like the
technique. I was
interview?
like bang, 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 question,
Oh,
answer. I like that.
probably should have been a little bit more prepared with questions.
I like that.
Favorite. All right, let's go for some of the basic stuff.
Yeah.
Favorite food.
Oh, restaurant would be that Greek place, the Yamas in St Andrews.
Of all the
Yeah.
of all the restaurants ever.
Yeah, it's my favourite now.
Yamas, guys, if you want a good feed, that is like, you need to go there starving hungry.
Yeah.
Yamas in where?
St Andrews, I think.
No.
St Peter's.
Yeah, St Peter's.
Yeah.
Yamos and St Peter's. Amazing, amazing place.
Greek.
Favourite place to travel in the world of all the trips. And we have done some travelling, guys. We love to do our cruises.
Not the last 5 years, but we've travelled once, twice every year, which is really something I'm proud of.
A lot.
Proud of it. Like I did at the time, no, but now as the kids are 17, 25, it's like glad I did it. So do it if your kids are young. It would be a tie between Antarctica when we went there with the kids. And the RV in America when we hired the big RV.
Yeah, they were some interesting times. And FYI, I didn't want to do either of those trips. So Mark is a mad adventure person, and I could easily go to, the same place all the time. Like I could easily just, continue going to America for the rest of my life. But Mark will always push us, and he'll always say, no, let's do this. You guys are going to love it. And 3 girls in our family. So there's Mark, and then he's got the 3 girls. So our eldest daughter, Shanae, who's 25. Then there's Jade, who's 17. And then there's myself. So you can only imagine Mark's going, we're going to go to Antarctica. And we're all like, what? We don't want to go to Antarctica. Like 7 days on a cruise ship to get down there. But it was absolutely one of the most amazing experiences of our life.
That's me and the RV kids. Check it out. Have a look at the size of this puppy.
Hang on, I haven't gotten to the RV yet. I'm talking about Antarctica.
Oh, do you want to see Antarctica photo?
Boys and multitasking don't go so well. So then we also decided that we were going to go on an RV, or Mark had said, let's grab an RV and let's drive from Florida to New Orleans. So we hired this enormous RV.
That's 30,000 tons. So that's 30 times, what's a car weigh? That's 15 times heavier than a car.
And you can only imagine you've put 3 girls into that for 2 weeks. And I tell you what, there was some interesting moments. But my God, that definitely with Antarctica goes down as 2 of the best trips we have ever done.
So that one was New Orleans and Miami in the RV.
We went from Miami to New Orleans. It was amazing. Highly recommend it. It was quite funny actually because we
Those days. Well, that check it.
We had gotten into that RV, which is absolutely enormous, and Mark's like, we could be here for hours and hours. They've got to train me on this. And I was like, of course they do. So Mark jumps into that big RV with this American guy, and Mark goes, oh, so how long's the training going to be? Just want to let the family know. And he goes, oh, we'll be like, 5 minutes. We're just going to go round the block. Remember that?
So I get the biggest one you can get with my license, and this thing was, I don't know if you've seen a Beeline bus. It was as big as a Beeline bus.
Yes.
It was really high. I just showed you the photos, but I don't know if you can see the scale there. And then getting behind the wheel on the opposite side of the road, and you don't know where you're going, in another country, in a 30-ton vehicle. You're a good navigator.
The co-pilot. I was the co-pilot.
Yeah.
But there were definitely some highs and some lows in that trip. As I said, you throw 3 girls and 1 guy into a bus for 2 weeks. And there's going to be some dramatics. But boy, we had fun. My goodness, didn't we?
Especially when you miss a turn in the 30-ton RV. It was like down the highway, and then if you missed a turn, it could cost you sort of 30 to 45 minutes because you just can't
And then that trip finished up with Mark's like, you know what? Let's all go shopping. Because it had been, girls, right? All we wanted to do was go shopping. And we'd literally been on the road for 2 weeks. So Mark's like, we're going to go shopping. We're like, yes, this is the best.
There's a big supermarket.
So we pull into this enormous, what do you call those places? Not warehouses, but, over in America, they've got those, the outlet centres. So we pull into this enormous outlet centre, and we're all frantically shopping, and I get this phone call at 5:30 to say that the RV park that we had booked had now closed, and we'd missed our spot. And I was like, oh, okay, that's, oops, well, that's all right. We've been out shopping, we're having fun. And thought, oh, we'll just book somewhere else. Anyway, every single place closed at 5 o'clock. It was winter and we didn't realise. And Mark's like, oh, we're just going to pull up and sleep in a Walmart car park. And I'm like, that's not going to happen in the middle of America.
Yeah.
So we had some interesting times. We definitely had some interesting times. Mark, the one thing that you would still love to do in your life?
Buy more property.
That's like such an obvious answer from a real estate agent. Let's try it again.
Go hang on a farm a little bit more.
I think this is what happens as you get older. That's it? Hang on a farm more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do a bit of farming.
Yep.
And buy some more property.
Nice.
Yep.
Regrets?
Oh, grandkids. Grandkids would be nice. But that's a bit out of my control.
We're still too young for that. Don't get any ideas.
Regrets?
Don't get any ideas to our daughters. Not
Regrets.
Yet. Yeah, regrets.
I didn't buy more property.
Really?
No. Regrets would be I didn't spend more time with my dad before he died.
Yeah, that's always a tricky one.
Just, like some nice one-on-one stuff, would have been nice.
Yeah.
So if you got an old, a good friend of me said the other day they had a parent that lived in Queensland. They see them twice a year. And parent was 78. And my mate goes to another mate, how old do you reckon your mum's going to live? He goes, oh, she'll easily go into her 80s. He goes, what, mid-80s? He goes, yeah. He goes, well, if that's twice a year, and that's 10 years, he goes, you got 20 more times you're going to see your mum. And I was like,
that's when the reality really does set in.
20 times I'm going to see my mum. And it was like, so that was, with dad. So if you can spend more time with your loved ones, your elders.
Definitely. I couldn't agree with that more. Nicole's saying funniest and almost embarrassing experience.
There was the fight I had with the taxi drivers.
Elaborate?
Probably, I reckon. So what happened was this is a very long time ago, but not that long ago. I was sick out of a taxi. And I made a little bit of a mess, and I said, look, don't worry, pull into the driveway, I'll sort it all out, and I wasn't sick in the car. I was I was behaved that way.
Very well behaved.
Very well behaved.
This is in his younger days, guys.
So when I pulled into the driveway, I was like, were hosing the car down, and the taxi driver got out and like kept going, clean it, clean it, clean it, clean it. And so I'm cleaning it. You know, after 5 or 10 minutes, I'm like, buddy, she's beautiful, like it's fine, it's great. It's like, no, it's not. Keep cleaning it. And I'm like, anyway, he sort of started getting annoying, and he wouldn't allow me to go away, so I drenched him. Then
With the hose.
Then,
The guy literally was drenched. Yeah.
Then then he pressed some button, and like 8 taxis all turned up, and I had the hose, and I was like, hiya, 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 and they were all like, it was like something out of a Bruce Lee movie where everyone was like lunging forward, and I was wetting them, and then I was like, look, guys, this is silly, like just leave me alone, and then we went to bed, and the police turned up, and we said, don't know what you're talking about. At the time, it was sort of...
But Nicole, can I just add,
funny.
There is never a dull moment with Mark. Mark's the larrikin amongst all of our friends. There is definitely never a dull moment with Mark. Mark can go from being serious to really silly in the span of about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But no, definitely never a dull moment. I'll never forget, Mark, this is a really funny story. We were away in the Blue Mountains, and there was a bumper sticker. We were parked at a set of traffic lights.
We just met.
Oh, we'd been together for probably a few months, I reckon.
Yeah.
And there was a bumper sticker on this car in front of us at a red light, and the bumper sticker said, honk if you're horny.
We're at a T section.
Yeah, we're at a T intersection. And the bumper sticker said, honk if you're horny. So what does Mark do? He honks his horn. And the guy thought that meant to go. And so he went through a red light accidentally and got hit by another car. He didn't get hurt, though. He got
T-boned by a car because, he thought my bip was like,
how
go.
bad did we
but on
feel?
his bumper sticker, it said honk.
How bad did we feel? I was like, Mark, why would you have done that? Seriously.
I think it got funnier later as the years rolled on. But at the time,
no one got hurt, guys. I just want to be clear about that.
At the time, like it felt like we're driving a stolen car. Like, oh, what do we do now?
But there has been many, many funny, crazy moments. I can assure you that is for sure. Final wrap up, Mark. What's your final advice that you could give to someone in life, starting in real estate, whatever it might be? What would your famous words be?
There's always something. Like if you read, if you read the news, it's just, you can always blame something or someone, and don't just move on, get shit done, and don't worry about the noise around you. Just get done what you have to get done. Like, when you read the news, there's just so much shit in there. It's about interest rates and mortgage cliffs, and all my life there's
always something. It's
something.
So true.
And it's like, if you really want to get hung up on that, and if it really is fact, then you're always going to find those facts if you look for them.
Yeah. It's so, so true. And guys, for those of you that don't know, Mark was 23 years old when he started Novak. We were just young little kids. It's unbelievable. Now, and we've got a daughter. Our eldest daughter is now 25, as I mentioned. I can't even imagine her running a business at that age. Like, I look at her and just think, my goodness, you're a mature lady, but you're still young. And, to have opened up and started, the business at 23 is just unbelievable, the responsibilities that came along with that. And I remember when we were opening up Novak, our own agency in DY, and we sort of fell into it. It's a long story. We will tell it. We have told it before, but we will tell it in another segment. But I remember saying to Mark, you've run a business before? No. Managed staff before? No. You know anything about rentals? No. It was just like, awesome, it's going to go really, really well. But 23 years of age, it's quite incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
And learned a hell of a lot along the way, that's for sure. Lots and lots of lessons along the way. But you know what? You're constantly learning, aren't you? You're constantly learning, you're constantly evolving.
100%.
I think, you know, as you know, we're parents and business owners, and of course people are always looking up to you. We don't always have the answers, and nor do you ever want to have all the answers.
No.
You want to keep learning and you want to keep evolving. It's really, really important.
It's my birthday.
So it is your birthday. Happy birthday, Mark.
Thanks,
Sunday.
Lisa. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
My birthday.
And anything else we want to add, guys, before we wrap it up? That 20 minutes went like that. So quick.
Yeah, you can talk heaps.
Well, I was trying. See, this is the thing, right? Mark says that, and then I was asking him all the questions, and he's giving like 3-word answers.
No,
You had every
I just wanted
opportunity
to,
this morning.
hard and fast.
Every
bang,
opportunity.
Bang, yeah.
All right, that's it, guys. I think that's a show.
That's a show. Have a beautiful weekend, everyone.
See ya.
See ya.